Hi there, my name is Bill. I'm a first officer on the Boeing 737 for a major US airline, and welcome to the first episode of our OPE Debrief. So today we'll be reviewing 5 incidents that have happened recently in the national airspace system here in the United States. And while I like to say I'm technically savvy, I'm not smart enough to be able to recreate these on YouTube for you. So we're actually going to be using VAS Aviation. It's a YouTube channel that I have followed for years. They do an excellent job with air traffic control transcripts and graphics to recreate the scenarios we're about ready to discuss and react to. So in the description below, I'll leave a link not only to the videos that I'm referencing in this video, but also a link to their channel so you can like, follow, and subscribe. So since this is our first OPE debrief together, let me give you a rundown on how I expect things to go. So first and foremost, I have never seen any of these videos. I went to the VAS Aviation YouTube channel. I found a couple of videos based off their thumbnails that look like it would be interesting to debrief. So everything you're about to see in terms of my reaction is a genuine, real reaction. Then we're going to go through all the video together, react together, and then we're going to pause and we're going to debrief what happened. We're going to talk about what went well in that scenario, what could have gone better, and what we should do in the future as aviators to ensure incidents like this don't necessarily happen. Now, as a disclaimer, I am not trying to criticize. I am not trying to judge other pilots in the moment. I am just trying to offer my insight, technique, and opinion based off my 14 years of experience in aviation. So sit back, relax, and let's get into episode number 1 of the OPE Debrief. So this is our first scenario. As you can tell in the upper left, it's called heated exchange between pilots and controllers at San Francisco. So San Francisco International Airport is a very complex airport. I know because I've operated out of there as an airline pilot in the Boeing 737. So let's take a look at the scenario and see what happened. There we go.
Delta 1384, plan 28 right for departure. Caution jet blast for departing Gulfstream. Cross 28 left. Runway 28 right. Line up and wait.
Okay, so that's Delta on the bottom of the screen.
We're going to need 2 minutes for taking off on the right.
Okay, traffic 2 out, 10 out. So cross 28 left, 28 right. Line up and wait. Advise ready.
Okay, cross 28 left, 28 right. We'll advise and ready for Delta 1384.
That's pretty tight. 2 out in San Francisco. That's pretty tight to not be ready
Tower
for
Delta
departure.
1384, just bring left across 28 left and 28 right. Hold on, Charlie.
Nope, I want you to line up and wait on 28 right and advise ready. Traffic's on a 9-mile final. You said you need 2 minutes. It'll be 5 minutes before they land. If you're not comfortable with it, hold short of 28 right and advise ready.
Nope, we're good with 5 minutes, and we'll line up and wait on 28 right for Delta 1384.
Okay, so they said that she has 5 minutes out. I thought they said 2 miles out, so it's 5 minutes out, which in aviation terms is not a whole lot of time.
905
But
Bravo, contact North.
what they're saying is they have enough time to set up for the new runway and depart in 5 minutes, which is reasonable if you have the paperwork. But let's see what happens here.
Okay, 4668, runway 28 right. Clear to land, traffic in position 737.
She did say 5 minutes out, so that's the information that the Delta pilots are working with. Okay, so it's 3 minutes, 2 minutes later.
Left on the numbers.
It's 2 minutes later, not 5, 2.
1 more minute for Delta 1384.
Okay, so longer than 2 minutes. Exit at Charlie 2, get behind the heavy, hold short of 28 right.
Okay, well, let's go to Charlie 2, get behind the heavy for 28 right, Delta 1384.
Okay, she said 5 minutes. And they,
Delta 1384, although I know you're not ready, there is traffic about a mile behind you.
Get practically as fast as possible, Delta 1384.
so Delta's doing.
Please hurry.
Next time runway changes, more than 30 seconds notice, please.
Ooh, okay. So did you get the ATIS?
Oh, okay. Someone's getting sad. I hate it when that
I'm going
happens.
to take silence as the fact that you probably did not read the ATIS.
We did read the ATIS, but we're set up with 28 left. We can't just plug in runway changes very long.
But our information
Oh.
says that you do need to have those numbers and
I don't like the attitude of this controller.
for this exact reason.
This is not.
Setting up takes at least 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay, and you asked me for 2, and that's what I gave you, and you needed more. We got to be
You said-
honest about our numbers here.
You said they had 5 minutes. So if they.
984 Foxtrot, 28 left, favorite take.
Okay, so let's debrief this for a little bit. There's a lot to kind of unpack with this. So first and foremost, San Francisco is a very complex airport in that sense. Other airports like Seattle, Washington do that as well, where they say, hey, make sure you have takeoff performance numbers for both 16 left and 16 center. In this case, the ATIS was saying have takeoff numbers for 28 left or 28 right, because last minute you could be told to cross and depart runway 28 right. It is a standard operating procedure. It does happen. A lot of people were wondering, well, why didn't he just take off and go? In the airline world, we have to have legal data for safety that says that we can take off on that runway. So it's just not like they can just take off and go. Now, what probably happened, I'm also gonna have to side on the Delta, especially because of the 737. Even if they had the numbers printed out at the gate the second, so you have takeoff data for 28 left, takeoff data for 28 right. It's not like you can just plug the numbers into the flight computer and say, okay, yeah, we're all good to go. Boom. No, we actually have a whole, at least at my company, we have a whole checklist that we have to go through, or that's recommended, called the runway change guide. I use it, it's recommended, but it's probably about 10 steps on there, because once you change that runway, it changes a lot of things. May change the SID, the departure SID, the noise abatement departure procedure may change, in 2 may change, there may be a special engine out procedure for that runway that exists versus the other one. And our runway change guide recommends that we rerun the before takeoff checklist to verify that we hit all those notes. So to say that, yeah, I have the numbers for 28 right, you should be ready to go, that's not very accurate in terms of the controller side of things. That's not a realistic expectation. Now, when they first crossed the runway, they said we're gonna need a couple minutes. They didn't specify 2, they said a couple. Now, a couple does mean 2, but she gave them the information that the next traffic is 5 minutes out. So they're accepting the lineup and wait clearance for 28 right with the idea in mind that there's traffic behind them 5 minutes, which you could get a runway change and all that stuff done within 5 minutes. However, she's bothering them at 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Which is not what she told them. So there's kind of the conflict there, is at 2 minutes, she's bothering them. They're saying, no, we're not ready, because in their heads, they're probably thinking, oh, I got 5 minutes. So there's kind of a conflict of information there. Now, not faulting the pilots, but realistically, as a captain, when I was a captain at my regional, and as a first officer now, I wouldn't feel comfortable lining up and waiting on an active runway unless I was 100% ready to go. Me personally, I would suggest to get off the runway. So do what they're doing now, basically in the shot, get off, reset, then go. Because the problem is you're head down on an active runway with aircraft that are trying to land right behind you, 5 minutes out. It's dangerous. It's a risk. I don't want to say it's dangerous, but it's a risk. So to mitigate that risk, I would taxi off the runway and handle all that information. Now, so that's just kind of my one critique for Delta there, is I would have never accepted a lineup and wait clearance unless I was absolutely ready. The controller did give them the option to cross and hold short until they were ready, but Delta accepted the lineup and wait. But then again, that's with the understanding that they were going to have 5 minutes. But once again, anything longer than 90 seconds in position without air traffic control telling me that they're doing something for like wake turbulence avoidance or traffic crossing downfield, I'm querying at 90 seconds, why haven't we got departure clearance? That's just to remind them that we're there. All right, so this next one, I believe it's coming out of Los Angeles International Airport, or LAX. As you can see, it says Aeromexico near runway incursion during Delta takeoff. So let's see what this is all about. Okay, we got Aeromexico.
649, now taxi via Delta 10, Echo 24 left.
Okay, so this is in the North Complex. Okay, North Complex is 24 left. Yeah, you can see there, Delta 10, Echo. That's a standard taxi route for the north side. Delta 10, Echo's making... Oh, he missed his right turn.
Delta 2253, 24 left, clear for takeoff.
Oh, he missed his right turn.
21 heavy, all second tower, runway 2 point.
24 left, 9.8, 1 heavy.
Los Angeles around Mexico 649, our bad. We just taxi on Delta 10. We are holding 24 left. Delta 10.
Air Mexico 649, contact tower now, 133.9er. Hold your position.
Alright, hold position, and tower 132.9er. Mexico 133.9er. Mexico 6.
Departure Delta 2253,
133.9er.
1,500 for 5,000.
Mexico 649. Sorry.
Mexico 649, Los Angeles Tower. Air Mexico 649, Los Angeles Tower.
Mexico 649, we're 24 left.
Air Mexico 649, traffic at Links is holding in position. Turn left onto runway 24 left, turn left again onto Whiskey.
Alright, turn left on 24 left, and again left. Mexico 649. Thanks.
Air Mexico 649, left at Whiskey, left again onto the ground again, 121.65.
Left Whiskey, left Echo 121.65. Gracias. Los Angeles Ground, Mexico 649, we're again on Echo.
And Mexico 649, possible pilot deviation. Advise when you're ready to copy a tower phone number. And 1 Heavy, RNAV Del Rey, wind 0606, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
24 left, clear for takeoff, line 1 Heavy. Yeah, we're ready to copy Air Mexico 649.
Air Mexico 649, possible pilot deviation. Call 310-337.
That's just a little carryover from another frequency.
310-337.
All right, so let's start the debrief on this. I think it's gonna be a fairly straightforward one. What went well? Well, first and foremost, I applaud Aeromexico for one, identifying that they didn't make the right turn. We're humans, it happens. Have I made wrong turns before? Yeah, I've almost turned into the wrong alleyway once when I was at Eagle as a captain. Luckily, I had a very sharp FO who caught me ahead of time. It's because they were doing last minute gate changes. But with Aeromexico, they realized that they had made a wrong turn, and as far as I'm aware, it looked like they were holding short of the runway. Now, whether or not they actually crashed the hold short bars, I don't know, because not even VAS Aviation knows, so we're not really entirely sure if they did. Maybe that was the reason for the phone number, but they stopped where they're going. They realized that they were on the wrong taxiway, and they notified ground control immediately that they were holding short of runway 24 left, but made a wrong turn. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. 100% what you're supposed to do. You never continue, never try to fix a situation. The best thing you can do if you get lost or you get turned around or you make a wrong turn is stop where you are, contact ground control and say, hey, I messed up. And you heard Aeromexico say that, our bad. I messed up. We made the wrong turn. What do you want us to do? That's the safest option you can do. So I applaud Aeromexico for doing that. What could have gone better? It's a lot has to do with the brief, right? So before we push back off the gate, we always brief the taxi diagram, how we're planning on getting to the runway. So briefing, and like when I was a captain, I was always brief left turn, right turn, versus just briefing the taxiways, because you come up to Delta or Echo in this case, and you can go left or right, right? So, you know, left turn Delta 10, right turn Echo, versus just saying Delta Echo. You know, in a brief, that might have solved that. Also, the crew, I don't know what they were doing, if they were heads down. While we're taxiing, I make it a point, if I need to go heads down and work on something in the flight computer, I'll say, hey, I'm going heads down. But anytime we're making turns, I'm heads out checking taxiway signs to make sure we turn the right direction. So I'm not entirely sure what was going on in the cockpit, but that, you know, making sure both heads and both sets of eyes are outside, verifying you're making the right turn. All right, so here's the next video. As you can see, we're running into kind of a theme here. So 2 aborted landings in San Francisco. So let's see what happened here.
I have 1826, pass my clearance for the heavy in the up and runway straight left, clear for takeoff.
Straight left, clear for takeoff now, 1826.
Southwest 1179 at the approach, cross 28 left, runway 28 right, line up and wait.
Alright, cross 28 left, line up and wait, runway 28 right, southwest 1179.
United 8141, turn left on Quebec, hold short of runway 28 left.
Quebec, hold short 28 left, 8141. Quebec 246, Papa Hotel, visual 28 right.
Quebec 246, Papa Hotel, runway 28 right, clear to land.
28 right, Papa Hotel.
All right, looks like we got a United on final for 28 left, while Southwest is still...
And United 277 going around.
Hey, traffic off the parallel will be a right turn to the north with 2401.
Good call, United.
28 right.
And they blocked the clearance for Southwest.
United 277 on the go.
United 277, go around.
On the go, out of 700.
United 277, turn left heading 260, maintain 3,100.
260 and maintain 3,600. United 277.
United 277, maintain 3,100.
3,100. United 277.
United 1826, contact Markel.
1826,
United correction Southwest 1179, are you departing?
No, they called blocked.
We never got that clearance. Somebody blocked it.
Okay, so you shouldn't be on the runway. Southwest 1179, exit at Charlie 2, turn right on Charlie, traffic short final for that runway.
Charlie 2, Charlie for Southwest 1179. The last clearance we got was the whole lineup and wait for Southwest 1179.
I don't need an argument on frequency.
Yep, that's the same controller.
7, contact Alaska from 135.1.
1351, United 277.
Alaska 553, go around.
Alaska 553 is going around.
Alaska 553, fly runway heading and maintain 3,000.
Runway
Wow.
3,000, Alaska 553.
Alaska 553, contact Markel 135.1.
35-1, good day.
Okay, let's debrief this. So first and foremost, I recognize the controller's voice. I think, based off the voice, it is the same controller we heard in video number 1. So common denominator, something just to think about. So let's debrief this. So United did a great job, 277. Notice that there was an airplane still on the runway, executed a good go around. That's excellent because that's good situational awareness. That's looking out in front of the airplane and being aware of their surroundings. But unfortunately, that seemed to have blocked the takeoff clearance for Southwest. So on the second transmission, they were trying to let air traffic control know that they were going around for United 277. Once again, blocked the departure transmission or clearance for Southwest 1179. Southwest did exactly what they were supposed to. They thought that they heard departure clearance, but they didn't hear the call sign. As airline pilots, at least in the United States, we cannot take off with a partial clearance. We have to hear our full call sign and the runway cleared for takeoff. So Southwest 1179 said blocked, which was notifying the air traffic controller that somebody else had blocked their transmission because it's only two-way radio communication, so they didn't hear their call sign. She did not respond to him. She was too busy handling the go-rounds. So Southwest did what they were cleared last to do, which was line up and wait. And then she got mad at them for being on the runway. She said, and I quote, "You're not supposed to be on the runway. Exit right." And they said, "You gave us line up and wait clearance," which is 100% true. They weren't arguing. They were just letting her know, hey, this is what you gave us. So in terms of debrief, what went well? All the pilots that did a go around, good situational awareness, being able to look out in front and going, hey, this doesn't look right. I need to go around. Southwest did not take off with a partial clearance, which is just as dangerous as departing without a clearance. So they did a really good job of just staying put and trying to figure out what was going on without doing anything rash or impulsive. So good job to Southwest. At Alaska for going around. What could have gone better? I mean, communication overall, it's hard not to step on one another because you're trying to get your radio communications in, and two-way radio communications only allow one radio transmission at a time. If you have more than that, it turns into like a garbled mess and you can't really hear anything, which is what we were hearing on here. So that was kind of hard, but as well as the air traffic controller not double checking where everybody was. I feel like once she didn't get a read back from Southwest 1179 about departure clearance, she should have immediately said it back. It felt like she got really distracted with the go-arounds and lost focus on where Southwest was. And then not to mention the whole I don't need an argument. There's no, like I said in the previous one, there's no need to be condescending. We're all professionals here. We're not trying to screw each other over. We're all here for safety. We understand that everybody has a job to do. So being that rude to a crew or a pilot being that rude to an air traffic controller, in my opinion, is extremely unacceptable. But as we're seeing, it's becoming a trend here apparently in San Francisco. All right, so this next one looks like it takes us to Las Vegas. Okay, so it's not San Francisco, but another angry controller. So let's see what is going on in Sin City.
American 1880, where are we in the sequence?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe Tower Southwest 3903, RNAV visual, runway 8 right.
Southwest 3903, Las Vegas Tower, winds 14016, gust 23, runway 8 right, clear to land.
Okay.
Clear land 8 right, Southwest.
So it must be some pretty bad weather in Las Vegas, because normally they use
Southwest
26 lefts
2626,
in
winds
the 1-9s.
12018, gust 23, runway 8 left at Alpha 8, clear for takeoff.
8 left, Alpha 8, takeoff, Southwest 2626.
Southwest 1585, Las Vegas Tower, runway 8 left at Delta, line up await.
Line up await, 8 left at Delta, Southwest 1585.
To Las Vegas as some severe weather moves across the field. Okay.
Southwest 2145, you'll be right after your company, and on departure, fly runway heading, climb maintain 8000.
Runway heading 8000, 2145. And here's next.
Southwest 3797, on departure, flying runway heading, climb maintain 8000.
Okay, so you know weather's bad when they're entering right of vectors at a major airport,
runway
which no one uses an RNAV SID. They're vectoring them runways.
We got both engines shut down. Should we please start one up?
Affirmative.
Thanks. Should we start one or two?
Spirit Wings 430, traffic in position, cross runway 8 left, and then ground flight 1.
Cross 8 left over the ground, Spirit Wings 430. Spirit 1850, do you know what our sequence is?
It's a fair
Spirit Wings
question.
1850, you're number 4 in line. We got weather, miles of trail, so it'll just be a few minutes.
Alright, thank you. Tower Spirit 1808, do you mind just listing off the next 10 departures so we can all be prepared?
No, there's no way we're doing that. Please stop asking what your sequence is. We don't have one for you right now. You're going to go when you're next. You got it?
Well, I'm sorry you're upset, but it's imperative that we understand when we're departing for our fuel.
Okay, well, if you don't have fuel when you get up to depart, we will take you somewhere else, or you can go back to the gate.
Okay.
Understood.
All right, let's talk about this for a second. Yeah. So, debrief. What went well? Well, all the pilots seem to have been professional, so that's a good. Professionalism is key, especially with communication, so the communication chain does not break down. What the pilots are asking is a reasonable request. So I've been at airports in New York, Newark, Dallas, Fort Worth, that when there's a long line for departure, which in this case severe weather has moved through, and now they're spacing out airplanes to allow departing aircraft enough room and airspace to be able to maneuver around the storms that have moved through the area and off the airfield. It usually causes a huge line, which is like what it sounds like is going on here. So to ask for your sequence is a reasonable request, because if there's like 15 airplanes in line, you don't know which one you are going to be in terms of takeoff position. So generally speaking, we'll either shut down 2 or we'll taxi around on 1 engine until we know we're about anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes from takeoff, because that's how long it takes us to start up the engine, let it warm up to its recommended warm-up time, and then also run checklists associated with that second engine startup. So it is a fair point for Spirit Wings to be listing off, or request to list off the next 10 departures, so that way you can plan fuel accordingly. That is a reasonable request. I've heard it multiple times from other air traffic controllers at different airports, because it helps us pilots plan for fuel. Because if we don't have minimum takeoff fuel when we cross the runway threshold, or when we're coming onto the runway, we can't take off. We have to turn around and go back to the gate and get the minimum required amount of fuel, not only for safety, but legally we can't take off below min takeoff fuel. Now, what could have gone better? I hate to do this, but this is going to be all on the air traffic controller side. Once again, the theme that we're seeing here is that air traffic control is getting angry at pilots. We don't really need to be angry. I know they have a stressful job. I'm not trying to downplay that, but there's no reason to yell or degrade or be rude to other people on frequency, especially when they're being professional. And even Spirit 1850, Spirit Wings, told them, hey, it's for fuel. So I'm not doing it to be a jerk. I'm just telling you, hey, I need to know for fuel planning purposes. So here we go again. Our 5th and final video of the OPE debrief episode. Angry pilot reprimands ATC after 2 aborting landings in none other than San Francisco. So I'm really hoping it's not the same air traffic controller, because if it is, that's going to be 3 videos recently of incidents that have happened in San Francisco with the same controller. So I'm really hoping it's not the same person. But let's go check out, see what happened.
United 1390, join up for visual 3 left.
United 1390, San Francisco Tower, wind 28018, runway 28 left, clear to land.
Clear line 28 left, United 1390.
Okay. Initially, it doesn't sound like the same controller, so I think we're good. At least for right now.
United 2626 at Foxtrot 2, runway 28 left, line up and wait, traffic 4 out, you're going to go right out.
Runway 28 left, United 2626.
JetJet 730 tower, plan on 28 left, hold short of 28 right.
Hold short 28 right, we'll plan on 28 left, JetJet 730.
Okay, 5335, turn left, echo for me, no delay off traffic, waits in position to go. For 214, one more arrival
choppy.
departure, then we'll get you going.
That was real choppy. Like very choppy, so.
United 2626, be ready to go as soon as traffic clears downfield there. Traffic's going to be just inside of a 2-mile funnel. The wind at 28019, runway 28 left, Fox 2, clear to take off.
Clear to take off 28 left, Fox 2, United 2626.
Things do get very tight in San Francisco.
JetJet 730, cross 28 right, hold short, runway 28 left.
Cross 28 right, hold short 28 left, JetJet 730.
Okay, so somebody's crossing 28 right,
United
so on the north
1390,
side.
go around.
Go around, United 1380.
Okay, so then we're gonna have enough spacing for 28 left, it sounds like, for that
Out of
departing
1390,
traffic.
turn left heading 260, climb and maintain 3100.
Set 3100 for United 1390, runway heading.
You got it, 3100 and a left turn to heading 260.
Left turn 260, United 1390.
Okay, so that's a standard go around. We saw that with
Turn
United
1580,
277.
cross 28 left, ground point 8.
It's cross 28 left and ground point 8, American 1580.
Out of 214, cross 28 left, ground point 8.
Cross 28 left, point 8.
Okay, so I think that departing traffic,
3421, runway 28 left, line up and wait.
for whatever reason, didn't have enough. Didn't have enough.
2626,
spacing.
contact North Cabo, see ya.
2626, switching, see ya.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Okay, so 1390.
Out of 1390, contact NorCal 135.1.
35.1, United 1390.
Okay, so they're left downwind, back around again for 28
United
left.
1390, back with you on the visual for 28 left.
Yeah, 1390, San Francisco, turn right, 28 left, clear to land.
Turn line 28 left, United 1390.
Okay.
1390, slow to final.
Slow to final.
Okay. That's the first indication that something wrong with spacing. You gotta slow back to final that far out.
48 heavy, running 28 left, line for wait, be ready to go.
All right,
Straight
it's the
left
same
line for you,
scenario over
948
again.
heavy.
They're lining up somebody on 28 left, while 1390 is trying to shoot the approach.
Yeah, 2117, turn left at either 1 left or echo, and just expedite company waiting to depart.
Okay, somebody just landed 28 left.
Yeah, 2117, join Bravo, no delay, please.
We got 3 airplanes lined up for the same runway right now. Someone that's just landed getting off.
United 40 heavy, 28 left, clear for takeoff.
A heavy in position. And 1390 on what looks like a 5-mile final. Maybe a 3-mile final.
Can you take a side step?
It's too late.
That's too late.
Yep, too late. Can't accept it below 1,000 feet.
The 1390, go around.
Oh,
Go
man.
around, United 1390.
That's the second one.
Yeah, 1390, turn left heading 260, maintain 3100.
260, 3100, United 1390.
1893, cross to your left, contact ground.
1893, cross 28 left, over to ground.
Yeah, 683, cross to your left, contact ground.
Cross 28 left, contact ground, United 683.
It's the same
48
track.
heavy, contact departure.
The same track. It's the same thing that happened before.
Yeah, 1390, contact NorCal 1351.
1390, you guys got to do better than this. That's twice.
Alright, talk to NorCal about that.
What's the freak?
1351.
35.1.
Yeah. Okay. Let's debrief this real quick.
NorCal United 1390, with you again on the miss. 2100 for 31.
Yeah, the 1390 NorCal departure, climb and maintain 5,000.
5,000 United 1390. What's going on? That's twice.
I'm not sure.
This is unacceptable. Come on, well, let's not do this again.
We don't work in the tower, sir.
They told me to talk to you.
The 1390, contact approach 135.65.
3565 United 1390. Hope to not talk to you again. NorCal United 1390, with you again on level 5,000.
1390 North approach, information Delta is not current, advise me of that, Central altimeter 3001, expect the visual approach, runway 28 right.
Alright, 28 right now. Can we make sure we don't put anyone on the runway anymore?
Yeah, 1390, we're wondering the same thing, we got a feed over here, and we'll make sure you land this time again. It's going to be a trail for 28 right, reduce speed now to 190.
Slow to 190, yeah, I'm definitely throwing a report for this. This is just unacceptable.
Yeah, 1390, we are in 100% agreement with you. Sorry for it.
Thanks. I know it's not your fault, but unfortunately you're the one I got to vent to, but he told me to talk to you guys. That's the funny part.
That's great. Apparently aircraft on the ground have priority of aircraft in the air.
Alright.
Sadly. United 1390 again, just for information, we've had issues with the tower here for a while as far as some of these go-arounds, things like that, but I think it's warranted for an official report, because we're hearing now that they're trying to blame us for our fees, but I don't know what was wrong with what we did.
Yeah, I'll throw one out for sure. I mean, that's just unacceptable. 2 go-arounds for the same issue. It's just, it's got to happen. Something's got to happen with that.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay, hopefully they come around and...
Yeah, 1390, maintain 170 knots to the San Mateo Bridge. Good luck this time. Contact San Francisco Tower 120.5.
170 knots till the San Mateo Bridge and clear and over the tower, United 1390. Thanks. Have a good one, man.
So let's debrief this. Let's talk about this for a little bit. There's a little bit to unpack here. So first and foremost, this is a standard configuration for San Francisco. Landing 28 left, 28 right, also departing 28 left, 28 right, but also mainly departing 1 left, 1 right. It's a very complex airport. Like I said, known for go-arounds because of this. So United 1390 makes its first approach, and there is a heavy on the runway that departs not quick enough. You know, they can only move so quickly. So loose spacing between the aircraft departing and the aircraft landing, which was United 1390, which triggered the first go around. That's a understandable thing. It happens for whatever reason. They anticipated the runway to be clear, but it wasn't. So they come back around and they try again. Now, what it sounds like on the second attempt is that you have 3 airplanes on the runway or lined up for the runway. You have one that just landed 28 left that is not expediting off or not getting off quick enough. You have the heavy who's in position, who needs to wait for the aircraft that's trying to get off, that's just landed off the runway. And then you have United 1390 again lined up for runway 28 left that gets a little bit too close and ends up having to go around a second time. So what went well? Well, first of all, once again, nobody got hurt. There wasn't any runway incursions. Everybody was following instructions. Nobody got hurt. And everybody ended up landing safely. United 1390 gets in on the second attempt, or third attempt, I should say. What could have gone better? Air traffic control and tower, I don't know what was going on, but having that many airplanes on the runway and knowing that United 1390 was a previous go around, every time we go around, we get closer and closer to our reserve fuel. On a VFR day, sometimes we're coming in with just enough fuel to get in there because we don't anticipate having to go around. We don't have an alternate. We don't have the extra fuel. So the more you send us around, the more fuel we're burning, the closer we're going to get to either a min fuel situation or a fuel critical emergency. Now, in terms of United 1390, what could have gone better is the attitude. Like I was saying in previous videos that we were reviewing and debriefing, is there's no reason to be that rude and unprofessional on the radio. You don't need to air all that on the radio. You don't need to tell tower, come on, do better. That doesn't help. It's not constructive. It's not aviation communication. There's no point other than to berate the person who's in the tower, which is not professional. Like I said, I understand the frustration, the stress, especially because if they're getting close to, minimum fuel to come in, but there was no reason to do that over the frequency. Now, let's talk about in the future, like what I would recommend in the future, or if I was in this situation, what I would have maybe have done. So the first go around, you can't really see it coming other than seeing someone line up and wait and not departing, right? And obviously they were below 1,000 feet, so they couldn't take 28 right, the sidestep. So they went around and maybe on the way back around, maybe talk to NorCal and say, hey, is there any possibility we can get 28 right to make sure that we land? Or, is there still a possibility of a sidestep? Then coming in off of 28 left for the second shot, I don't know. I can't remember if 1390 was on frequency, or I don't know if they were on frequency when they were hearing the aircraft taking a long time to exit 28 left after landing and having the heavy lined up. If I saw those two things happening in front of me, I would start thinking about a sidestep if it was possible. In San Francisco, it's not always possible because you may have a approach partner, so someone who's doing a close-in approach PRM with you to 28 right. But if it's available, I'd start querying that as soon as I switch to a tower. Hey, can we get 28 right? But then again, like I said, it wasn't in the aircraft, but that's something I would probably be thinking about, especially next time I go to San Francisco. I will have that in the back of my head. And that concludes our first episode of Captain Bill's official OPE debrief. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Once again, huge shout out to VAS Aviation for making such high quality videos for us to debrief. In the description, I'll leave the link once again to their YouTube channel, so you can like and subscribe to their channel, as well as the video links of the videos that we watched today, so you can review them in your own time and formulate your own debrief for them. If you want to see more future episodes of OPE Debrief with Captain Bill, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications on YouTube. If you like to view content on other social media platforms such as TikTok and Twitch, I am on there as well using the same name, Captain Bill Official. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, be safe, be well, and I will see you on the next episode of Captain Bill's OPE Debrief.